What's up, guys? F Focus, and we back on another guide for Escape from Tarkov. Now, this one is the ammo guide. It's been talked about like crazy. There are a couple things I want to say before we get into the guide. I do this based off of in-game testing. Now, there's a couple guns, the criteria for it. I'm just going to go strictly off the charts because I haven't physically done it yet because they're just not guns that I use. So I do apologize for that. That's going to be based off the charts, not in-field testing. But as far as, almost every type of gun in the game I've used, every type of ammunition I've used. So I can give you some tests that I think, but I'm not going to talk about the 2 best ones or the 3 best ones or this is better for pin, this is better for flesh. I'm just going to give you my preferred round. I'm going to tell you what I use if I run that type of ammunition. So you guys can either agree with my opinion or not agree with it. Maybe do your own testing, tell me it's shit. But like I said, I've done a bunch of tests in the game, and every type of ammunition I'm going to give you, other than just a few, is going to be based off of in-game testing. So hopefully you guys can agree and appreciate that. So without further ado, we're going to jump into it. All right, so just to start into it, just so we can get it out of the way, we're going to talk about shotguns. Now, the 2070 or the 20 gauge or the TAS, whatever you want to say, I've done absolutely fucking nothing to it. I don't know anything about that stupid gun. I've used it once, like the previous patch, or a couple times because you guys wanted me to on stream, but I don't know anything about it, really. So there's only one type of ammunition. That's all it is as far as the TAS goes, and then the buckshot and the slug. Like I said, I have not used them. I do want to say, however, they've made some changes to the slug as far as charts go. The flesh damage is 165, so it should do a fucking absurd amount of damage, if it hits them somewhere in the flesh. Now, I want to do testing on that. I'm going to stream to where we do strictly shotguns, shooting them out of the Saiga, the 153, 133, and we're going to see how the slug actually fares. So hopefully you guys can enjoy that stream. But just going off the charts, maybe buckshot close, slug for distance. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm not even going to tell you which one I recommend other than the slug. It looks like it's fucking strong. All right, moving over to the 366 or the TKM. This is the second type of ammunition that I have not used. Just like the shotguns, I have not used the 366 or the 209. I just don't use them. So just going off of charts, I'm going to say go with the EKO. The 366 TKM EKO. Now, down in the comments below, if anybody actually uses the 209, please let me know what type of ammunition that you recommend be a good choice. But again, I don't know anything about this round as far as Tarkov goes and in-game goes. So if anybody knows, let me know. But as of right now, it's going to stand. I'm not going to give my overall opinion on it other than the charts, which is going to be go with the TKM EKO. Again, somebody correct me down in the comments below if you actually use this gun. Now, moving over to the Makarov, Keter, yada yada yada. I have only used the Makarov in game, but when I have used it, I've used 9x18 SP7 GCH, and it's done pretty fucking well, actually. Because when I roll pistols like this, especially, I like to go high flesh damage and kind of aim for the legs because the Makarov is not going to pin somebody and kill them with a fast MT. It's just not going to happen. So, like I said, I like to go 9x18 SP7 GZH because it has 70 points of flesh damage, only 6 points of armor pin, but again, 70 points of flesh damage. I think the highest round as far as 9x18 goes, as far as armor pin, is like 8 rounds or 8 points of armor pin. So you're only losing 2 points of armor pin, so I don't think that there's really a need to go armor pin for 9x18, but flesh is pretty nice, so SP7 GZH. Moving over to 9x39, there's only 2 types, and of course I can list them because this is the AS Val or VSS, SP5 and SP6. I'm only going to tell you, the charts say that SP5 does real nice flesh damage and only 5 points less armor pin, but just through testing, SP6 still reigns superior, sitting at 51 points flesh and 25 points armor pin. So again, 9x39 SP6 is the way to go if you're going to run the AS Val or VSS. All right, moving over to the meme round, which is the 9x19. If I ever run a Glock, which is not like ever, but it's a meme gun and some people want to use it to get that meme off. I always use the PST GZH, 9x19 PST GZH. Even when I run the MP5, sometimes on factory, I will run the 9x19 PST GZH. I know there's some other rounds that people are thinking, and they were talking about how the rounds changed, but through my testing in the game, those are still the best rounds to run as far as 9x19. So again, I've repeated myself like 13 times because this is a meme round and everybody was talking about this. Everybody was saying this, go this, whatever. It doesn't matter. Aim for the legs. Don't aim for the legs. I don't care. My opinion is the PST GCH. Second. Talking about the 7.62x25, which is the round shot out of the TT pistol. A lot of people like to use this because they like to go John Wick mode, and it's always fun. I've done that 3 or 4 times this patch already. And the TT, the round that I use, I haven't been able to tell a difference from the previous rounds or the previous patches. So the round I use is a 7.62x25 LRN PC. It seems to do absolutely fine for me. Obviously, geared players, the TT is not the gun that you want to go up against, but aim for the legs and whatnot, and you should be fine. Just don't try and pin armor because the TT rounds don't really pin armor very well. But again, 7.62x25 LRN PC. Alright, so moving over to the 9x21, which is the shrimp round, or the shrimp type of ammunition, or whatever you want to call it. I have used this gun quite a bit, actually. I've killed more people in factory using it, because with the lower durability of all the armor ratings, you can do quite a lot of damage with this round now, because it does have high pin for a pistol. I still use the 9x21 SP13. It does a really nice amount of flesh damage as well as 20 points of armor pin chance, sitting at 52 points flesh and 20 points armor pin. So nothing's changed as far as this goes. I've tested a few other types of ammunition, like I've went with the SP12, and then I've also actually tried SP11, but SP13 still seems to reign superior. So again, that's my opinion. That's my preferred ammunition choice, is the 9x21 SP13. Alright, moving over to the 7.62x54R. This is going to be shot from the SV98. There are only 3 types of rounds. I have tried only one other type because it has really high armor pin rating compared to the flesh damage ratio. And I can tell you hands down that the round to go with is still the round that you went with last patch, which is the 7.62x54R 7-in-1. It still does the best for flesh and armor pin chance. You can one-tap through fast MTs, so it still feels really strong. So again, 7.62x54R 7-in-1 if you want to run the SV98. Alright, so moving over to the 7.62x51, which is going to be shot out of the DVL and the RSS. It's the 308 round. This, hands down, the only one that you should use is the M61. This has 52 points of flesh damage, but 73 points of armor pin. It's the highest armor pin in the game. It can one-shot people like crazy. It can zero forts. It's crazy, man. It's by far the best round to go. If you're running the RSS, you can absolutely decimate servers with this if you just run the M61. So again, hands down, M61, best round is my opinion. Alright, now moving over to the 7.62x39, which is going to be the AKMs and the SKSs. Now, this one is an easy one for me. Last patch, I used mainly PS because all the other armor pin ratings for BP, it just didn't really work out for me. But something's happened in this patch, and I've used it in the SKS many times, and I've actually one-shot people with their fast MTs on while using the SKS and using the 7.62x39 BP round. It has 48 points of flesh damage and 36 points of armor pin, so it's actually really high as far as armor pin goes, and if you're shooting it out of the DMR or the SKS DMR, then it can absolutely decimate people. It can actually shoot them pretty strong. You can 3 to 4 shot people by hitting them in the chest with fort. So again, my preferred round for 7.62x39 is the BP round. Alright, now we're going to move over to the 5.45, which is the AK-74N and AKSs. Maybe the most used weapons in Tarkov. The AKs are just so expendable, and everybody's using them, so everybody wants to know the best ammo type. Now, BS and BP have not done that much justice to me, honestly. I know they're really good rounds, but my go-to round as far as 5.45 is the BT rounds, which is a tracer round. So there's a couple things I want to say about it. In real life scenarios, the tracer just has more inertia, so it really should do more damage, just based off of actual life events. And the BT rounds actually have not let me down in Tarkov this patch. I've used them quite a bit, and they all seem to do very strong damage as far as armor pin goes, and I can drop my targets very quick. But in that chance that I don't drop them, you've got to take in one thing in consideration. It is a tracer round. So even if you kill your target, or if you don't kill your target, they're going to know where you are. And if by some miracle the guy that you're shooting at is too locked onto somebody else and doesn't happen to see your tracers, somebody else will see your tracers. So they know where you're coming from. Tracers in this game are so noticeable. So once you shoot, you must reposition. If you don't have the strongest reposition game in Tarkov, or maybe you don't have that much knowledge on the map that you're playing, I do not recommend taking tracers. I would recommend taking out the BS round. Then again, I haven't had that much luck with them, but I know they're still good as far as pin chance go. But my go-to round, of course, is BT, and I play in customs. I know how to reposition like the back of my hand on that map. That is my map that I play, and everybody knows that. So the BT round, like I said, is my go-to round. But again, I want to mention something. If you can't get your hands on BT or maybe BS or BP, because it does sell out, go to the PS. PS have a fantastic just neutral setup. 55 points flesh damage, 27 points armor pin. Like my BT round does 49 points flesh damage, 31 points armor pin. So it's really not that much of a difference. So if you can't get your hand on those rounds, PS has not let me down this patch at all. And then the last thing I want to talk about as far as 545 goes is the PRS. Now, the PRS rounds got a massive nerf. They should not have been as overpowered as they were before in the previous patch. That has all been fixed. All of those myths or all of those rumors that saying the PRS got, fixed last patch was not true, but it is true this patch. The 545x39 PRS does 63 points flesh damage and only 19 points armor pin. So it's really good if you want a leg meta, but it's absolute horse shit if you want to try to pin armor. So keep that in mind. All right, now moving over to probably my most used weapon, which is the M4. Now this shoots a 5.56x45, and there's a lot of controversy over this right now. A lot of people have their disagreements, and a lot of people are almost confused about it. Now, if you go off the charts, the M856 is a really solid round. It is running at 24 points armor pin, and it's running at 62 points flesh damage. Now that sounds pretty good, but the best armor pin in the game is the M995, sitting at 45 points flesh and 30 points armor pin. However, I've had more luck still this patch with the MK255 mod 0, and that's sitting at 55 points flesh and 26 points of armor pin. Now, I know that sounds crazy. A lot of people, even in my Discord, a lot of people in other people's, YouTube channels or in their YouTube comments on videos and everything have saying, hey, MK is total trash. Don't use MK. It's horrible. I disagree with that. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think the MK255 is still an amazing round. It probably shouldn't still be as strong as it is. It's a low ricochet round, but it's still does the job really well. I've used it. I've used M995. I've even used M856. I've even used M855. I've used all those rounds that off the charts, they are supposed to be amazing, but they're not. I was really disappointed in the FMJ. I figured it maybe would have had a little bit more armor point value and maybe less flesh, but it's kind of the opposite. So all these rounds are trash. My two recommended rounds still are the M995 and the MK255. Like I said, the M856 and like M855, those on the charts say that they're really good. They have, a nice ratio between flesh and armor pin, and they're actually fairly higher on the armor pin rating. But testing them in game, I've had no luck with them, especially the M856. Like I said, 62 points flesh, 24 points pin. I thought that because of going full auto, it's only 2 points less than MK. It's got to be, somewhat good. But after using it, I've not dropped targets that I should have dropped so many times. So again, M856 I think is absolutely off of what it's showing that it's on as far as the charts go. So my two preferred ammo types, M995 still sells out, so if you can't get your hands on M995, I still would recommend going with MK255. Against what people say of it being so weak and so terrible, I have not run into that at all. I still think it's a really good round, so I'm going to stop going on and on about it because I've already said mine. This is just opinions on what I think and my in-game testing. So again, MK255 and M995. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the ammo guide. I know I didn't really talk about all types of ammunition for, certain guns like 9x18 or 5.45, but I went ahead and talked about, the main ones, the ones that you should be using, the ones that are in meta right now, and the ones that are maybe not broken, but too strong for their own good, especially with the armor nerfs. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you want another guide or anything. If you want me to update some of the traders, update some of this, or even just a gun guide, or maybe if you guys want me to do a modification guide, what I use on my M4s, what I use on SKS, which you can see is not much, or AK, something like that. Just let me know down in the comments below what you guys want to see. But you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, share if you want to, and as always, enjoy.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers.